recently I watched the film Oppenheimer, and as a huge Nolan fan and as a person who was recently been on a Nolan marathon, I wanted to quickly talk about why this film is so significant. Not just for people who are Nolan fans or people who are, generally who have that love for the cinema, but also people who are into physics, who are into science, and of course history and the philosophy of studying what has happened to humanity in the past. The H bomb, it fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the devastating consequences that happened after that. But what led to that point? What actually brought the scientific discoveries and the bureaucracy and the political and governmental pushes and pulls that brought this genius of a man, Oppenheimer, to this point where he became the face of the father of the bomb. So obviously, there's always a lot of people involved in an occurrence like this, in a circumstance like this. There are governments, there's the military industrial complex of the USA, which obviously has its own criticisms, and people have talked about it. What's unique about Nolan's take on the atom bomb or the story of Oppenheimer is how he centers the story completely on Oppenheimer. And what a brilliant choice in the case of Cillian Murphy, who, if you look at look at his previous work, is completely different from what he has been able to achieve in Oppenheimer. Cillian Murphy is Irish, so to get that old school American accent and that style and that gait, and he lost a lot of weight for this role as well. Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer is absolutely stunning. He keeps you grounded in the reality of war. He keeps you rooted about what really is the cost of war, like the weight that scientists and people who are behind the wheels, who don't really agree to the political or the moral or the social causes of what their inventions and what their creations are doing. At a certain point in time, yes, they do it, but then afterwards, how they deal with it and the bureaucracy that comes around with it and the red tape, the snakes and ladders that come around with it. Robert Downey Jr. is there, Rami Malek is there, Kenneth Branagh, amazing, Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, amazing actors from top to bottom. The background score and Cillian Murphy are the two main stars of the film, however, because both of these elements make the film so thrilling. And even though if you look at it in general, when you like step out of it, or when you look at it when the film ends, you're like, okay, so they're basically machinations, like interpersonal machinations, and then there's the scientific machinations of making a bomb like that, making a discovery like that. All of that aside, all of the dry elements or the dry pieces of the story aside, why was I on the edge of my seat the whole time? It was because of the background score. It was because of Cillian Murphy's amazing, amazing performance. Really, guys, I really don't have words. I don't know how to praise it enough, because every word he utters and every time he looks straight, or you go through his expressions and you go through the emotional juggernaut that he himself is facing, you realize that he is constantly at war with himself. To display it of a character which is not your culture, not your even probably age, because then you see towards the end there, they show him at a different age as well. The star is Cillian Murphy, and the background score, because it has these moments where it just synchronizes with the explosions, and a similar beauty was found in Interstellar as well. So that's the characteristic Nolan trademark. And obviously, to understand the frailty and the moral ambiguity of humans at war is also something that Nolan explores very, very adeptly and very, very subtly in Oppenheimer. And it may seem that it's not so subtle, because yes, it's a film about the atomic bomb, so obviously we're going to talk about that, the price of war and the price of something so huge. But then at the same time, it is subtle, because then on the outset it is about how the process works and how things were going, and the narrative is not linear. So in any case, Oppenheimer is a stunning film. Obviously, one could not expect anything less. It's a film that will make you think and sit and stay and wonder that humans, what are we doing to each other? What is the purpose of war? What is it good for? These things like humanity, and what are we doing really for humanity? Is science really at the end of it serving humanity? So these are the questions that Nolan leaves you with, and I suggest that when you watch this film, sit with these questions. Watch it in IMAX, by the way, so that you absorb the full breadth of the strength of the film, and then sit with these questions and ask yourself these questions, because that's, I think, what Nolan really wanted you to do.